And welcome to the Rob and Kel Show. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this evening. My buddy returns to us after having a night off. He is Carolina Jackpot, Cale Hall. Cale, what's up, buddy?
Not much, guys. How's everybody doing tonight?
It's
in the chat. Go.
Yeah, everybody in the chat joining us. Let's give a shout out to them. Peg and Megan, Gamecock Chuck, Hoghead, Jerry Wells, Brock Lee, Eddie Blackburn, thanks for joining the show. It's been kind of a cool weekend, Jackpot, with we'll start with Around the Horn. Gamecock baseball team drops their game to Army. It's just kind of a disappointment at this juncture. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I mean, they dropped the game to Army, but let's not brush over the fact they did win their next two. So
yeah.
So they went 2-1 on the weekend. They did against the military schools, shutting one of them out.
Yeah, well,
but losing to Army is not good, and they actually played today against the Citadel and got beat down pretty bad. So I don't know.
Well, it just
I don't know. I don't know what's with that. It is disappointing. They should be undefeated right now.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the rivalry series is upon us, Jackpot. We've got South Carolina and Clemson coming up this weekend, right? Clemson moved to whatever. They're 6-7, whatever. No, they haven't been challenged.
Yeah.
So,
I'm looking forward to that series about like a hole in the head.
Well, but it's fair to say at this juncture, South Carolina will be the first true test for Clemson. Is that fair?
Yeah. Who else have you played? Bryant,
Bryant, Charlotte, and Army. So
yeah,
there's that. Anyway, I thought we would.
Are they still doing the Battle on Bull Street thing?
Yeah, it's at Segra Park. Go to our.
So they're not going to have one in Greenville.
No, it'll be at Segra Park this year. If you go to our Facebook page, there's actual video of Jackpot leaving. What was it, 3 or 4 years ago, when Clemson beat the shit out of them there. He was just like, I'm not. He had enough of it after the 6th inning. It was just like, I'm out.
Good. I mean, it's fucking. I had a long way to go home, and then they were playing like shit. They didn't piss me off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's video there of that if you want to go and check that out. Gamecock basketball team, we can say something about them. They picked up a win over Mississippi State.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty convincing win.
I mean, is Mississippi State that good?
I mean, they've had a couple of decent wins, but no, overall not. I don't know what happened to them. But I looked at the schedule down the stretch. I mean, South Carolina played well. Like they played a little bit better lately. If they caught fire a little bit, I see maybe one game on there that's totally like losable to where I don't think they'll really have a chance to win it. It's the home game against the Voltards. I don't see them winning that. But they got Kentucky this Tuesday. I mean, South Carolina kind of owns Kentucky in basketball, smacking around a little bit of late. So
they're not good, right? I mean,
they do. Well, I mean, Quarterzip's first season, I think he only won 2 SEC games, and one of them was on the road in Rupp. And I think he won. I don't think he won there last year, but he's pulled off some against them.
Yeah,
I went to the game 2 years ago when we were good. When we played them, we beat them like a redheaded stepchild. It was never even close.
Well, and I remember, the team with Boogie Cousins and John Wall and all that went to the tournament, like went to the Elite Eight. That they came into the Colonial Life Arena and they beat South Carolina. It was kind of like, and South Carolina really wasn't that good. So I don't know. I still think you need to fire Lamont Paris. He's got to go.
Yeah, it's just not the standard that we need to have.
So with that, Clemson lost their 3rd straight game. Brad Brownell has got his we thought they were doing really good. They were like 20-4 at one point. Now it's they've lost 3 straight as they lost over the weekend to, let's just be honest, a mediocre Wake Forest team. Um, I don't know how they fix it. It seems like people are starting to figure out.
No, you lost during the midweek to Wake Forest. Yesterday, you lost to Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State too. My bad. They've lost 3 in a row, and
they're catching fire. They won several games in a row. So it looks like Florida State's catching fire, and the Taters are flaming out.
We'll have to see how that goes. Sports Talk with the Dealmaker says Clemson's going to smoke South Carolina in baseball this weekend. We shall see.
Well, there's something wrong with them if they don't.
So you have no hope for this baseball team, Jackpot?
I don't know. I don't know, man. I really haven't watched much of them. I know they don't look great at the plate. I mean, I know they did score a lot of runs. I guess who was it? Gardner Webb or somebody the other day. They ruled them. I mean, what is that? I mean, that's really, you really can't count that.
Well, anyway, I don't know. We'll have to see on that. Nobody has any faith in them. It wouldn't surprise me if I think Clemson wins the series. Getting a sweep on anybody is hard, but we shall see on that. They play, I think game 1 is in, I got to look it up, but it's basically, I think game 1's in Columbia, and then they play at Segra Park, and then they go to Clemson for the finale. I think that's the way it works. Well, I'll check on that and make sure. By the way, Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport, the Jackpot Truth Serum segment. I just sent it to you, Jackpot. Please read away.
All right, let me pull this up.
Mm-hmm.
America wins all the time. The Army baseball team beat my team this weekend. Team USA beat Canada in hockey. Let's all show some class to the country that we may annex. They are not used to us beating them in the sport they love the most, which is the 4th or 5th best sport we play.
All facts there, Jackpot. Is anything there that you don't agree with?
No. No. I mean, I don't even understand the rules of hockey, really. So
I don't either, but it was fun to see a toothless, like a guy missing his front 2 teeth, slap around the Canadians this morning. It was kind of funny. The Canadians are taking it hard on Twitter, by the way. I mean, they are losing their minds talking about in the Olympic Games, it's like a 3-on-3 thing in overtime. And they were upset about that. And it's like, whatever, man. We beat you in the sport you play the most. What are you talking about?
I was listening. Uncle Lou did it on his Patreon page. He live streamed it this morning. And at one point, I was trying to move some stuff this morning to my house there. So I was just catching bits and pieces of it. I know at one point the Canada, I guess they had the whatever they call it, the advantage. What is that called? The power play.
Yep.
On the U.S. for 2 minutes, it was a 5-on-3 advantage or something, and they still couldn't score. I mean, so
yeah,
sound like they just got outplayed to me.
Well, they lost. That's kind of the way that it works out. My dog's losing his gizzards over here. My son's grabbing his gloves. It's kind of silly over here in the living room. Right. Anyway, I think that it's kind of cool when something like that happens and the U.S. comes out, and it's their first gold medal since 1980, by the way. So there's that. Baylor Man says Canada's down bad. Yeah, that's a fair assessment there.
Jackpot Doc 1975. These at names are so crazy. It says Jackpot needs to marry one of those Travelers Rest girls that pee standing up. Yeah, no. I went after a Travelers Rest girl. It'd be one of those imports from New Jersey or something. No, not any of the natives. They can be a scary looking bunch.
I had an idea.
Have a thicker mustache than you do, Rob Sanders.
It's probably so. My mustache is kind of blonde. It's kind of hard to see.
Well,
anyway,
thicker than mine.
The Coach's Hot Seat rankings tonight too. Go over these really quick. These are at coacheshotseat.com. I throw these at you, Jackpot, and you tell me whether these. We're gonna do the top 5. Whether these 5 coaches will make it through the upcoming season. Number 1 on the list, Jackpot, is Mike Norvell at Florida State. Will he be coaching Florida State after Thanksgiving?
I think so. But I don't think they can afford to fire him yet. His buyout is ridiculous.
Yeah. And
It was ridiculous last year. They wanted to fire him. It was like 50. I tell you, if he wins 6 games, they'll keep him because they're praying he wins 6 games, so they don't have to fire him.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you on that. They're kind of knee deep in Norvell down there right now.
Yeah.
Number 2 on the list, Jackpot, is Dave Aranda.
Yeah, I think they might part ways with him. He has a pretty cheap buyout, and that just hasn't worked out well for Baylor. Was a double-digit win type of team before he got there, and with Matt Rule, and he's not elevated it at all. In fact, it's backpedaled significantly under him. No, I don't think he's going to make it.
I don't think he's going to make it either. Number 3 is Mike Loxley. He should have been fired last season.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think he's overstayed his welcome.
So we agree on that. Number 4 on the list is Shane Beamer at South Carolina. Now, I know that you think that they may rebound a little bit. I don't know what they're going to have as far as I know that they're going to have Sellers back, and I still think Sellers is one of the better quarterbacks in the conference. I do think that they have one of the best defensive players in the conference, but they had that last year, and they were the shits. I don't trust him, and I think if he has a losing season, he's out.
Yeah, I mean, if he has a losing season, he's done. Yeah. I think if he wins 6 games, he might be done.
So 7's the threshold for you, then, is what you're saying?
I think if he wins 7 games, I think they'll probably give him another year because it's too many people. I don't know. I don't know what the mindset. I don't what set is with the Jeremiah Donati administration. I don't know if hopefully they're not in this old tired ass mindset we have down here that if we win 7 ball games and win a bowl game, we need to build you a statue. Just elevate your expectations. Right.
And then number 5 on the list is Luke Fickell, Jackpot, at Wisconsin. He has been the shits since he got there. I think he's gone if he has a shitty season.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it. They've tried a lot of different stuff at Wisconsin, and that program is just really they're just irrelevant now. I mean, imagine that. I mean, 10 years ago, I mean, you'd have laughed at me if I'd have said Wisconsin's just going to be totally irrelevant here in a few years. You would have thought that was crazy talk.
The last time they were really good, Jackpot, was when they had Fat Burt, and he had them just basically their offense was we're just
Fat Burt, and then they had Paul Christ. He was a decent coach that
Yeah, but Fat Burt had them near the top of the Big Ten. I mean, they were pretty good. With
Fat Burt had them near the top of the Big Ten. That was after he had gotten. Was that before? Well, that was before he got fired from Arkansas, right? And then he went to Arkansas.
Right. He went to Arkansas and then left Wisconsin to go to Arkansas.
I don't understand why he couldn't have ever been more successful at Arkansas than what he was. I mean, that was just a disaster.
Nobody's been successful there since Houston Nutt. I mean, they haven't been very good at all.
Petrino had a few decent years.
Fair enough. I'll give you Bobby Petrino, but
was Petrino the coach there when they had all those running backs that were running wild?
I think it was Houston Nutt when they had the Run DMC backfield. But then it was Petrino was there and they did really good. They had I can't remember, but they were pretty good before he had his incident with the motorcycle and the volleyball player and all that.
Yeah, Ryan Mallett was the quarterback.
Remember Casey Dick, the quarterback? Yep. The funny thing about him was who's the voice of the Gamecocks? Todd. We'll just call him Todd. Todd would never call him, normally it's, Sellers back to pass. He would never say Dick back to pass. It was always Casey Dick. Did you ever notice that? It's like he couldn't get over the fact that the young man's last name was Dick. It's pretty bad.
Well, it could have been Dick Nixon.
Funny. Anyway, we're going to put the link over here if you want to join the show. Someone says, if Beamer gets fired, Clayton White or Sean Elliott will be the interim head coach, not Briles. I don't know. That's a
He's
fair
not talking about Briles being the interim head coach. If he gets fired, I think he's talking about Jordan Dealmaker's talking about he thinks that he's the replacement head coach. Oh, I don't know.
I mean, but I thought Dealmaker was on the side of them. They're not going to fire Beamer because he brings in money. Am I incorrect on that? Because he was on the program talking with us about that.
Yes, he was in that camp at one point, but then last year, I mean, he just finally reached his breaking point with it, man. I mean, it's at some points. I mean, you look at people and you take them at face value for what they are, and he realized that he sucks, and it's not going to get any better.
All right, the average age of the program just jumped by 25 years as we welcome in Billy. Billy, how are you, sir? Welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much.
Hey.
How you doing, sir?
Good.
Glad to be back on here. Eddie's wanting me to call in. I don't know what I need to say, but all's good and stuff.
Were you rooting for Canada today, sir? You look like you're a Canadian fan.
Read between the lines. What does a Canadian look like?
I don't know. Someone that sits around and calls our program at 9:00 on a Sunday night talking shit. That's what a Canadian is.
You threw up the call in, and then Jackpot put out a video today telling us that if we don't start calling in, we need to call in and make it worthwhile. So here I am.
I can tell that during the off season we have stuff that our numbers dip a little bit in the off season, but we should still have folks coming in and running their mouths. Of course, Octavian shows up and talks about his love for the Florida Gators, and other people talk about it to stop into. But if I were here ranting and raving about why is it that in the last calendar year we are near the bottom of the conference in football, basketball, and baseball, and yet nothing's really happening? Why is that? Why are there not coaching changes when in the three major men's sports you guys are the absolute shit? It's a fair question. I'd be up raising my mouth about that a lot if I were a Gamecock fan, but
I think I have to differ with somebody in there. I think it's user that Briles wasn't brought in to be the future head coach. I would have to say I would differ on that. He's the offensive coordinator, and you could argue that if things go bad, that they could blame him. But what's that saying? We need to change the culture, I guess.
I mean, there needs to be a culture changing across the board here. I mean, I'd make everybody hang out with Don Staley's team. They're the only ones that win. Football team wins too. That should be what they have. You have to go hang out with actual winners. Maybe you'll learn how to win. Pick up some stuff from them by osmosis. Well,
the fact that the AD Donati came from Texas Tech and he hired Briles out there, and I'm not going to troll South Carolina thing because they're my other team. So I don't think they brought him here just to be the OC. If hopefully Beamer will work out, but let's be honest, he's 16-24 in the SEC, and he needs to win 8 games to break 500 this year. Let's be real.
Let's talk about this too on that front. He hasn't had a good offensive coordinator hire since he's been there. All of them have been mediocre at best. They haven't finished above 8th in the conference at any time under Shane Beamer. So his ability to bring in an offensive staff has been shitty, to say the least. And he's had some players. Spencer Rattler, there's talk about New Orleans trading him, and he might garner a second-round pick from somebody. So you had a pretty good quarterback for a couple of years. There's been some guys that could play. I still stand behind who was the running back that came from Arkansas? I thought that he was great. And
Rocket Sanders.
Yeah, Rocket Sanders was he's still on an NFL team. So there's been some talent there. He's had issues with the offensive line. We'll go with that. And getting someone in there that can run the offense. I think he tries to be like the CEO.
He's had issues. He's had issues, as I've said, holding these assistant coaches accountable for their jobs until it's too far gone.
Yeah.
Well, seems to
well,
me
for
to be.
all the reasons for Rob, all the reasons you just said, college football is a business now, and Beamer's the CEO. And if you own the company, and for all the reasons you just said, and the numbers that he has, 16 and 24, and for all the reasons he's not hiring the right people after 5 years. So for what you said, it's time to change the culture, I guess. Hire somebody that can hire a good coach. But it's all,
I think Don Staley would get more out of the team than he has.
Also, in his, I don't know how I'm wanting to put this, but in his analysis of the games and just the way he seems to talk about the games, when we win, I don't think that he, I think good coaches will sit there and pick apart the wins and still find all the bad shit you did and find all the stuff you need to improve on and hone in on that. But I think when we win games, it's just like, all right, let's go spread some joy now. We won. Yay. It's good enough.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Just don't have a head coach personality. That's what I was getting to. And I'm not going to come on here to bash Beamer or bash South Carolina.
No.
He does not have a resume to be the head coach at South Carolina. South Carolina deserves much better than him right there. And
but let me give you this, okay? The best program at the university is Dawn Staley's team. I think we all can agree upon that. When Dawn Staley's team wins, she comes in, talks for about 90 seconds about we rebounded well, we could have done better with this, we could have done better with that. You never see her bitch like he does about hot dogs and bands and all of this other shit. And her best players, if they act stupid, she puts them on the bench. Yeah. And you know what? They end up getting better and end up playing better for her later on.
Yeah.
And, we had the incident where, the guy was doing like the gun thing after he got a sack. Don Staley would rip his fucking ear off and sit his ass on the bench.
That's
the thing, though. He doesn't have that in him. And
his personality just
right.
Chris, I missed you too, buddy. It's fine. I'll be watching now, Chris.
Billy, can you comment on the load of Tennessee fans over on social media and some of these YouTube channels that have lost their mind over the Joseph Aguilar situation?
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, look, when I first read that headline, though, I thought it was, wait a minute, how is this happening at Ole Miss where that judge can put that there, but then, do we need a Vol fan as a judge to get Aguilar another season? I mean,
well, the judge was a Tennessee alumnus, so
the NCAA. So
I don't get that, and maybe I don't know enough about the judicial system, and I don't know enough about the proceedings of same. But I mean, you can't just pick your own judge. I mean, what you?
Right.
So that's not, to me, that's not the way the judicial system is supposed to work.
Yeah. Well, I tell you,
does it have something to do with where they're filing their appeal at and what district they're filing it in, and they know, well, if we file here, it's going to be seen by this court here, and we have a better chance of getting
different. Like Chambliss actually didn't play at all, but the clock was counted against him, whereas Aguilar maybe have suited up or something. I don't know.
Well, everything is different. Chambliss, I understand, had a toothache or something and couldn't play.
Tonsillitis.
Yeah, come on. That's an in and out procedure now. 5-year-olds go in and get them out and go home, get ice cream. But Joey needed to go because, and I talked to Kale last night, The quarterback room at Tennessee is fine. Chris keeps asking who's Tennessee quarterback. Chris, right now we got about 3. There's a couple of 5-stars and a 4-star. So they'll play a freshman, and that's the dealt your hand, and you go with what you recruited. Joey needs to go. Nobody needs to play for 8 years. In fact, my opinion is you get 5 years. I don't care if you play at 1 year at Citadel and 1 year at Coastal. You get 5 years, period. And in those 5 years, figure this out. See if this would change a lot of stuff. When you transfer one time, you have to sit out a year before you can play. And that would clean up a whole lot of this mess. 5 years.
That's
period.
the way it used to be.
5 years.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
Well, but that's not going to happen anymore. I know that sounds harsh, but they're not going to do that anymore because, first of all, it makes sense, and they're not in the business of making sense. So
it's but no,
I personally think that he's going to be fine, just like you were talking about. They'll do better with Heupel just getting a guy off the woodpile to go be their quarterback.
No, he's got George McIntyre there. He's got Brandon Faison or Faison Brandon, whatever it is, the number one some polls things coming in. He's from Greensboro, North Carolina, come in, and they've got a couple other people. So
if he's got highly rated quarterbacks, Billy, he's probably going to suck because he hasn't been able to develop any of those guys. He does better.
McIntyre's been there 2 years. He's been there 2 years. I mean, how much more do you need? So he'll have 2 years and all this spring and summer.
Do you hold the coaching staff accountable if he comes in and he sucks?
Yeah,
Okay,
because but see, that's hindsight. We could all play hindsight. But see, just like last year, we didn't give Heupel credit when Aguilar came in, and he did fine. So he's got a record in the NCAA that'll probably never be broken.
All I've heard from him is that George McIntyre can't play because he's not 200 pounds.
Here we go again. Why did you recruit?
So, I mean, what do you want your quarterback to be, a Larday?
Yeah,
I don't.
You recruited him. He brought him in. So, but no, Joey needs to go. He came in, had a decent year, and it's time to move. Time to go. And you go with what you recruited.
You better go get Deuce Knight. Think about Halloween and Tennessee dark out mode. The Deuce Knight rises. Very good, Big Buddy Ross. That's fun.
Oh, man. So, but yeah. Tennessee basketball girls lost 4 games in a row now. She's gone.
We're not the same program either.
Yeah, that coach. I was listening to something a week and a half ago while I was working. I put those earbuds in and I would listen to sports talk stuff all day long, just different type things. And they were interviewing Dawn Staley after they played Tennessee, and this was after they had heard the press conference from this, was her name Kim Caldwell or something?
Yeah, Kim Caldwell.
She said her team quit. She said, but that's what we do. We're a bunch of quitters, so we quit today.
That's your fault. That's how I look at that. If the team quits, it's on you.
They asked Dawn Staley about that. She said, well, first of all, I probably wouldn't have verbalized that in that fashion, but to my players. But
so wonder why Joey didn't use the Montana ruling to use calls for his lawsuit, because they go on a case-by-case basis. I'm not saying that I'm for the Aguilar thing. I'm just saying when it's what's bad is that the NCAA tells you no, and then it's like you go to the other parent, which is like a court, and be like, they told me no, but I should be able to do it. And then the other court's like, in Mississippi, it's like, okay, you can play. And the NCAA is looking around like, you just neutered me. Didn't really happen in this.
Baylor man says moment of silence for Tennessee baseball. They lost 2 out of 3 to Kent State. Is that true?
I don't know. Probably. Baseball's different. Only reason I went to high school and college was to play baseball. So when I was at Tennessee Wesleyan, the year before I got up there, they went up to Knoxville and took a series from a school of 400.
Tennessee Wesleyan. Is that
West,
even
yeah,
a
they
school
were.
anymore?
Yeah,
St.
it's
Francis
a
area.
university now.
Yeah, I mean, it
They
happens.
went up there and they wouldn't even come back down the next year. Look up Tom Browning, who was the rookie of the year for Cincinnati and set all kind of records where he played.
Right.
He played after I. Yeah, he was after me.
Got to.
So, but it's baseball's that happens. So talking about South Carolina losing to that happens in baseball. That's very.
Did anyone
just
listen,
like
did anyone listen to Donald Trump's interview from Josh Page?
No, I don't.
You didn't look. You didn't. I mean, I don't know. Did anybody in the chat listen to it? It wasn't that bad. It was pretty short, really. It was like maybe 12, 15 minutes. It's the impression. I guess he was in Georgia last week. He being Trump, pronoun boy.
Yeah, he went to the varsity. They had a hot dog or hamburger or something.
Yeah, he was there, and he was saying something about quarterbacks. He's like, I guess Gunnar Stockton was there. They were somewhere at the University of Georgia. Sort of he's like, this guy over here. He's like, he's a big Trump fan. Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it was like 12, 15 minutes. People were losing their minds because he was interviewing Donald Trump. I mean, well, the president wants to interview.
What do you have?
Once you talk to you about football, I mean, you do it. I mean,
I think that's with any time that happens. If you're honored with that, you should take that opportunity and do it, regardless if it's there. So yeah,
absolutely. It's the office. It's the office.
Yeah. Well, at the beginning of the interview, that he was talking to him about college football, and he started off, and Trump said something about the new kickoff rule. He said, I mean, it's just it's atrocious. He's like, I can't stand that. He said it looks like they're not even having a kickoff. He's like, and he was talking about the NFL kickoff rule, where the guys all stand down here. And then I don't know if somebody got in his ear and said something to him or what, but you'll notice him. He says, it's horrible for the NFL. I hope they don't do that to college football. And I'm like, no, he was talking about that with college football. He didn't know the damn difference. So, yeah.
Under that, guys, I just, whatever, man. Who gives a shit?
I think all these old guys are they're just dumb when it comes to talking sports like that. They're out of touch. It wasn't as bad as Joe Biden talking about his golf game during that debate, but it wasn't too far off from that.
I'm not touching any of this.
No, well, I mean,
I got you.
Anyway,
that's right.
We were talking about you were talking about how I could just remember a point where, going into the Clemson series, there was 2 weekends there, and I can remember that neither team would have a loss for a long time, or maybe just one loss. But South Carolina lost to a pretty poor Army team, and then a pretty poor team from some directional school in Kentucky. I got nothing, but that program's fallen off. Sort of like the Tennessee women's basketball, where they were.
At one time, I was saying on a video, at one point in time, that program it wasn't quite on the level of hers, but not that far off from being like Don Staley's basketball program, where it's just like you roll the ball out there and we're going to win.
Well, I mean,
it's just absolutely criminal what they've done to it. It's absolutely criminal. I likened it the other day in a video to, someone painting this beautiful portrait that rivals a Picasso, and then just getting drunk and putting your fist through it. It's almost like what they did with that baseball program. It's a great analogy. It
is. I mean, they've destroyed the program. They had it at a point where that it was the Corvette. Now it's a Pinto. I mean,
you got to be pretty fucking stupid to let that happen.
Whoa, on the Pinto.
In my opinion.
Back up on that Pinto there.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Well,
see,
things are different nowadays too, because you got the transfer portal, you got the NIL, you got so much stuff going on nowadays. It's
A lot of
it's
people
crazy.
think they may have pulled the plug on old Holbrook a season too soon, which in hindsight being 2020, maybe so, because the guy they got to replace him was even worse.
Well, we can talk about all of that. And someone mentioned Landon Powell. Well, the reason they didn't hire Landon Powell is because he didn't have his degree. That's on the record. So, I mean,
Well, that was the problem. Same problem with Deion Sanders and him mad at FSU. He didn't have a degree. No, they're not going to. This is the requirement. Just because you played in NFL and baseball, we're going to overlook it. No, that's why he's upset. Now, so supposedly he went and got it. Vandy Dandy is Billy Ray for 5 season. I'm going the bookcase of accountability right now. 6-6. How's that?
Deion at one point didn't have his degree?
Yeah, and he wanted to be the coach at FSU.
He wanted to be the coach when after Bobby
Years
Bowden
ago.
left?
Years ago,
they wouldn't even consider him.
No, he wanted to be the head coach before they hired Norvell. He was one of those guys that was
and then too.
After they got rid of Sunbelt Willie.
Yeah, you gotta have
whatever. But before they hired Norvell, he wanted to be the head coach, and he doesn't have his degree, so I'm surprised he even got an interview.
Well, in some states in high school, you don't even have to. High school can hire you because they're not hiring you as a teacher. They can they just hiring you to coach, and you're going to get paid a stipend, and that's it.
Someone sports talk with the deal maker says, "What the hell does a degree have to do with being a coach? Dummies get a degree. Look at most athletes. Deuce Staley doesn't have a degree. Deuce Staley was the coach at South Carolina, and he wanted to be the running backs coach. And
I think it has to do with starting and seeing your way through and finishing something. Just looks better on a resume, and as far as a leader, maybe.
Right. How can you tell the kids to go to school and get their degree when you didn't get yours?
Right, it's something like that, yeah. But I don't know. Because I'm a dumb. I don't have a degree.
Just like to be an officer in the military, you got to have a 4-year degree, and just like people make fun of Army and Navy and Air Force and stuff. These young men and ladies have.
Who makes fun of them?
They've got professions waiting on them when they get through, because they'll be commissioned as second lieutenants in the military. So their degrees isn't in basket weaving. Their degrees isn't in community recreation planning or whatever it is so these people are, and if you go look at top colleges and everything, you'll see the military academies are in the top 10 as far as education is concerned. So when you have to have a congressman to nominate you to get you there, they ain't putting in dummies up there. So
Dealmaker says Shane has his master's from Tennessee, but is he head coach material? No, sir, he's not. But I didn't make that rule.
He's not head coaching material because he's a dummy. A dummy on the front of, I shouldn't make comments about hot dogs and Mizzou's press room, etc. He's a freaking idiot. But on the other end, he's got the education that says that he should.
Well, it didn't take. If he got his master's there, I don't know, but it sure didn't take.
Yeah, that was. Sorry, guys. They're working on the stadium here. Hopefully, next time we come, they won't be banging around on shit up there, so we can do a press conference. Jeez.
This is actually a requirement that college, just like to be able to teach it at a college, because some of these coaches back in the day taught a class or two.
He's got, according to the internet here, he's got a degree from Virginia Tech in interdisciplinary studies.
That's a good one. There you go.
Yeah, that's
all I
right
need to know.
That's right up there with hotel and restaurant tourism.
That's better than what he's got.
I'm just reading what it says. Interdisciplinary studies. I don't even know.
Let me answer if Andy Dandy over here. He's using. I got a master's degree from Belgium. So, hold on. I should coach. No. It says that because you have a degree, you can coach. If you don't,
could probably
you
go be the grocery manager at Kroger with that degree.
There you go.
No. But apparently that's what his degree didn't help him in the ability to learn when to shut the fuck up. He didn't learn that in college. So,
interdisciplinary studies. You know what that is? Here's you an art class. Here's you a shop class. Here's you.
Why his dad never stepped in and gave him an earful about that shit in those press conferences? You know, I mean, his dad never did that.
His dad never did that bullshit. His dad never.
No, I mean, he's got to be listening to it. He's watching that stuff. I mean, you think he'd be like, son, you need to calm down. This is not a good look for you. I mean,
I know another person of national importance that wish somebody would sit down and tell him to shut up.
Wait. So I Googled Frank Beamer, and he has a Bachelor of Science in Distributive Education from Virginia Tech. And he also has a master's degree in guidance from Radford. I mean, that sounds more viable than, I don't know.
Frank Beamer has a master's from Radford
in
guidance.
You need guidance to be a good coach. I don't have an issue with that.
Well, I wonder. Okay.
I'm just saying. He's got a master's degree in guidance. Steve Spurrier, let's look at his. He graduated from Silence Hill High School, attended University of
Johnson
Florida.
City.
Science Hill.
Here.
Yeah.
Johnson City, Tennessee.
That's a prominent high school.
Graduated and playing for the Gators, but it doesn't tell us what his major was. I wonder what his major was at Florida.
Just fucking around.
It didn't say. Heisman.
Doesn't tell me. No.
Heisman.
It says he won a Heisman in 1966. Was a unanimous All-American. Played for the Gators, but it doesn't tell us what his major is. Steve Spurrier.
What is Science Hill High School's mascot? The Bunsen Burners?
I'm looking it up at Florida. I wonder if we can find it. I bet Spurrier was like a science major. Let's see what it was. Was a student athlete, primary recognizes play career. It doesn't say. Was a student athlete in the mid-60s. Widely publicized, documented.
Probably not even on record. I mean,
is not readily featured in his primary biographical sports or Hall of Fame. So there you go with that. Look at Dabo's too while we're at it. I think Dabo's got like
seminary.
Yeah, there you go. Guess what Dabo Sweeney's degree is?
He got a master's. He got his master's from Bob Jones.
He's got a degree in divinity, and I ain't talking about divinity.
All right, so he has a degree from Alabama in commerce and business administration and a master's in business administration from
he was selling real estate at one point, wasn't he?
So fuck y'all with all that shit. Dabo's got a master's degree in business administration from an SEC school. There you go.
There you go.
That matters.
I think Peyton graduated with a degree. He graduated 3 years with finance and accounting. I think.
Peyton Manning? I thought Peyton Manning had a degree in fucking.
Come on now.
Yeah, all right. I won't mock Peyton Manning and I get people spot. We just know the university had to make a settlement with somebody because of.
I went to a private.
He has a degree in teabagging. That's what his degree's in.
There we go.
There it is.
That girl got rich too off that. She shut up, didn't she?
He dropped his nuts on her face.
She shut up too, didn't she? She shut up too, didn't she?
She's from what I gather, she's still on the faculty at Tennessee, isn't she?
I don't know. I don't know.
They paid her a lot of money to be quiet. I'm just saying.
And she did. And she should have stood her ground, more grounds, and went after him. That's what she should.
Fair
You
enough.
know, he's got an 8th grade son here going to Baylor in Chattanooga. And he
Didn't know
comes
that.
to the games and sits in the stands like a regular parent. Baylor High School here in Chattanooga.
Kirby
Look at
has a finance degree.
Big Barney Ross says Will Stein, the Kentucky head coach, earned a bachelor's degree in sports administration from the University of Louisville in 2011. He subsequently obtained a master's in business administration. So there you go.
Yeah, Kirby has a degree in finance.
Vandy Dandy with the comment of the night. I'd take
Well,
$1 million
put
to
that-
get teabagged.
Put that NIL check in the index fund. He'd be able to retire at 45.
At least we know that you're a whore and you have a price there, Vandy Dandy. $1 million and we can teabag you. Fair enough.
Huh.
Crazy.
Yeah, believe it or not, I've certified K through 12 education, special ed, minor in biology. And I didn't coach or teach. I did after I retired out of the service. That was hell. Retired first sergeants don't make good teachers.
I was watching some stuff today. I was watching this guy that on YouTube that evaluates a lot of these TikToks that people put up that where they're putting out all their private personal business and they crashing out and stuff like that. And he has a show where he comments on them and people sending these TikToks and there's teachers making TikToks and talking about how they're only working one semester and they've been quitting because the public schools are so bad in some places that they just can't handle the students and they just decide they don't want to do it and they just quit.
I don't know how my wife
Not crazy.
I don't know. Like the kids don't listen to her. She's had kids doing silly stuff, and I don't know how she teaches. I don't.
Let me. And since we're onto that subject, people say, "Well, it can't be that bad." When we were in school, I know I taught for 5 years and coached. When we were in school, there wasn't a deputy sheriff walking the halls with a loaded 38 or 9mm on his side.
That's because y'all were all in one room in the little red schoolhouse. They didn't have to, sir. You got in trouble. You got to beat with erasers.
Did you have a RSO or whatever they're called at your school? A deputy sheriff? No,
When I was
like a resource officer.
Exactly.
Actually, I think we did.
I think they did.
At the school that I was at. I went to Lexington High School, and we had one because we were a big-ass school.
It's not the kids, it's the parents.
Yeah, they had one at Wade Hampton High, but they didn't really have to do a lot because we were all pretty well behaved.
Yeah.
My
wife taught for 35 years and decided, they need substitutes here in Cleveland and in the city. Well, let me be careful here. She substituted about 3 times and said, forget it. And national school have metal detectors. Yeah. They're putting metal detectors in here at Bradley County High School, a rural county school.
I've got metal detectors at school, so.
It's crazy. I would advise anybody thinking about going into education, they better.
Yeah, they can't risk one of these idiots bringing a piece into the school and shooting the place up.
Well, Tennessee passed a law a couple of years ago that if teachers want to carry, they can after they go get formal training and stuff. In Tennessee, you can open carry anyway, but the teachers aren't going to do that. But what I'm saying is teachers now have an option if they want to, after they're formally trained, if they want to. So see, what's bad in Florida is most of the schools are open air. In other words, you don't come into the main office. The wings are open and they go right outside. So I don't know. I would strongly recommend anybody think about going into the teaching to stick with the teacher for 2 or 3 weeks and see what they have to do at home. Yeah. At home. That's just like me during basketball season, October through February. My day began at 5. If I had a conference and I taught 6 classes, then to have to take 13, 14, 15-year-old kids to a away game or practice till 9, 10 o'clock at night, it ain't worth it. And then parents.
Yeah. Well, we kind of strayed off from what we normally talk about this evening, but hey, that's the way the show rolls sometimes.
Well, let's
Jack
talk
White,
about
what you got. Go ahead. What you want to talk about?
Tennessee basketball. They got a 18-year-old true freshman. Y'all will see him next week. I think he's the leading scorer in the SEC right now. He come there and broke into the starting lineup. He's 6'10", and he's now a lottery pick in the NBA draft to go 5th, 6th, or 7th is where they've got him.
Wow.
1 year and done. And he started out as a real kid freshman, taking a back seat to everybody. And then Rick Barnes got on his ass because he's the only McDonald's 100 kid that's ever come to Tennessee. And he is all that in the back. And y'all see him when he comes. And he's turned it on the past 4 weeks.
What's his name?
His name is Nate Ament, Ament.
That's right.
And he's already, he's going to the NBA.
What happened to that dude that was just shooting mad 3-pointers a couple of years ago at Tennessee? The white guy.
Yeah, I forgot his name. I
think he was the SEC Player of the Year. He played when we played them in Columbia. We lost. We had beat y'all in Knoxville, and then they came to Columbia, and he was just nasty, knocking that. I can't remember his name. He should be in the NBA by now.
Oh, he went to the NBA. Josh Boy over here, Dalton Connect. Exactly. Thank you, sir. Dalton Connect. I think he went to.
He's playing for the Lakers.
Okay.
Yeah, he went to Lakers. So
yeah, there you
if
go.
he's still a Laker, he must be holding his own. So that's good. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody was talking about why isn't Dalton Connect playing? It's like, well, are you going to sit LeBron James down for him to play?
Right.
No.
Yeah, it would kind of suck being on a team with him if you weren't playing time.
I'm just
Isn't
saying.
that the society we're in nowadays? The kid came out of nowhere, some middle junior college, and then was at Northern Colorado School for the Blind, and then Rick Barnes seen something, brought him to Tennessee, and the next year he's sitting on the Laker bench, and that's not good enough. It's crazy. It's crazy. We live in a system. Why is he starting?
Because LeBron James, the all-time leading scorer in the NBA, is the guy they're paying $50 million to play. They're not going to start the rookie from Tennessee. Let it go.
No.
Come on, man. It's just common sense, man. What are we doing
And
here?
something else is when you think coaches are all that in a bag of chips, and we discussed this a couple years ago, there was a player from North Carolina. He wasn't looked at by Coach Krzyzewski. He wasn't looked by North Carolina coach. What's his name? They all said he was too skinny and too small, so he played at Davidson.
Ta-da! He's talking about Steph Curry. Yeah.
He's got about 6 NBA World Championship rings and MVP rings, but he was too small to play at North Carolina and Duke. North Carolina
I don't know.
State.
When you seen him playing at Davidson, he looked like he was too small to play then. I mean, he was.
Back in the day, when I was probably, I guess I was in maybe about middle school age, I saw the Gamecocks play Virginia Tech in basketball, and his dad was on that team, Del Curry.
Yeah. He was pretty good too. I'm just saying.
Who was this?
Del Curry is Steph Curry's dad.
Where did he play ball at?
At Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Was he at Virginia Tech or Tennessee?
No, he's at Virginia Tech.
He's at Virginia Tech.
Remember I don't know if y'all don't remember this. The Bernie and Ernie show at Tennessee in the early 80s, late 70s. Ernie
I watched a
Grunfeld.
documentary on it.
Yeah.
What they didn't tell you is that Bernard King was run off because he got stolen because 8-track cassettes out of the parking lot there at the basketball arena.
Yeah. There's
They
always
didn't tell you that. But yeah, we're But back to baseball, South Carolina will be fine. Trust me on this. They'll be fine.
They're going to finish
Yeah, I
in the
understand.
bottom third of the conference, sir. They're not very good.
They won't. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. I think you'll be surprised. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Why
Beginning of
wasn't
the
he
year,
fine
cold
last
weather.
year? He had a top recruiting class and good players, and he wasn't fine last year. Why wasn't he fine then?
Things happen. Teams were better, but they're going to hold their own. What did Barney say earlier? Bernard King, greatest NCAA ever.
You know what? I'll put this on the bookcase of accountability. Their one SEC series that they'll have a chance in is the Mizzou series, because Missouri is terrible. Other than that, I don't see them winning very many conference series.
Do you know back in the day, in the mid '70s, late '70s, you know who the SEC team was that owned it? I mean, they had teams. They had Major League Baseball players that were on all-star teams. You don't have to look it up. I can't remember some of the players.
Mississippi State.
There you go. Coach Ron Polk, he come up here to Cleveland State, was looking at players and stuff. Needless to say, I didn't qualify. But anyway, they had the finest facilities in the SEC.
Will Clark.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the other
Will
guy.
Clark, Rafael Palmeiro.
On the same team. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And others.
Back then, you get to Mississippi State and play. All you can focus on is baseball. What else are you going to do? Cows?
Yeah, well,
Nothing else you can do there.
I'm not saying anything. That German guy coming here and cuss me out.
I can cuss me out too. I don't give a shit. There was nothing to do in 1984 in damn Mississippi State. I mean, it's you play baseball and tip cows, and they didn't even bring cable
They had a
TV.
great program. They had a great program.
That's why they were great.
But they had
Of course, I'll
probably
hit extra balls. That's better than going to my concrete dorm room with no air conditioning. Shit.
Probably the best facilities in the country, if not the best. So,
Sure.
and then I seen South Carolina a couple of years ago, and I said, "Wow, this is a nice."
Oh yeah, Seth
Nice
Beer
looking
Park is so
facility.
great, man. They've got
Mecca.
top-notch facility. It really is.
Yep. So,
All right. Well, Billy, it's
Here
getting
again,
late. You got to move on, buddy.
well, jackpot.
There you go.
Well,
I don't know what that means.
Guys.
There you go. Appreciate
Thanks
you,
for having
Billy.
me.
Thanks, Billy.
And just an inside track, I've been on YouTube watching. This is off the subject, but just so you know, there's people in Iran on Starlink releasing stuff, and mysteriously there are Iranian bases, runways getting blown up, and buildings and stuff. Now, who would do that?
I don't know. We'll see.
But anyway, thank you for letting me on here.
No
I'll
problem.
talk to y'all. Huh?
We'll see you
No
later,
problem.
Billy.
Thank you.
All right, Jackpot's been a good show. We'll midweek we'll talk more about the South Carolina Clemson series and whatever else comes about. Anything else you want to add, sir?
Nope. Don't think so.
It's been a good weekend. We'll see you guys later on.
All righty. Thanks, guys.